All right, Alain, thanks for coming on, man.
Awesome. Happy to be here in Texas.
Yeah, it was cool to get connected with you very randomly from Nsima. Nsima's such a great guy.
He is. I mean, that's what I like. I mean, creating this community and having this vibe and meeting people who share, the same passion as me is incredible. So I mean, so you just meet people. I'm a learner, so everywhere I go or everyone I meet, I just try to learn as much. I'm always about learning, about seeing new things, about, even when it doesn't seem like I'm always learning.
I love that. It's like when you go to a different country and you start hanging out with someone who lives in that country and you compare your lifestyle in your country to theirs. You compare and contrast. It's like always a common thing, like, oh, in America, we do this. And you could be in Germany or Hong Kong or whatever. And we do this here. And then you find out similarities and differences. It's kind of like what we did when we were training earlier today. Oh, this is a similarity we have in weightlifting and weight training. And this is a similarity to martial arts and fighting like that. Well, I guess I want to get into like your childhood upbringing and how that led to martial arts.
Yeah.
Cause I personally don't know much about it and I really want to hear it. How did you start martial arts or what was your childhood like?
Yeah. I mean, it's a good story. I come from a very large family. I have 6 brothers and 1 sister. And so you see all these boys in one household, all the testosterone flying. So my mom needed us to be, she needed to keep us on track, to be busy doing the right thing. It could have been one or two way. You could be, you could end up in the wrong side of the street or, if very easily, especially, in such a neighborhood. But with martial art, my mom could, she could control us better. She could see that, it was a way to canalize our energy and keep us on track.
And develop discipline too,
And develop discipline too, exactly.
Yeah.
I started when I was 5 years old, 5, 6 years old.
5,
Yeah,
wow.
It was a really funny story, but bottom line is, at that age, my mom started, like instilling in me the value of, respect and also respect discipline, but also learning how to be, handle yourself, learning how to be responsible, learning how to defend yourself if need be.
And so you started in judo, correct?
So I started in judo. Very quickly, I fell in love with it and I was doing pretty good. So the first year I was really bullied because I was the youngest in the room, and so, but after everyone bullied me, the next year I took over, and I think I was the captain.
Oh yeah, and you stuck with judo until how long? And you switched to
judo for just a few years, and then I switched to karate.
Yeah.
And my brother was doing karate already. So just watching him every time after my training, I had to hang out waiting for him. And I was watching him training and just practicing the move, on the side, while they were doing it. And while when we were at home, my brother and I will go at each other. So I'll have to, to learn some trick from him and to survive, in our household with all the boys, you have to be tough, man. So yeah, you have to be tough. So sometimes you have to go at each other. That's what brother does, right? So we love each other, but we also very competitive. So yeah,
I think that probably karate and this is interesting. The fact that you were exposed to martial arts so young, you developed flexibility, or maybe you didn't develop it, you just never lost it. So like the flexibility you have as a child, you still have now.
Yeah.
And that's why you're so interesting to me.
It's funny, like just earlier, Anna asked me, have you always been, that flexible? Have you always been that flexible? You just flexible or what? And a lot of people have that impression that, this guy is just maybe double jointed or he's just flexible and he's just born flexible and he's just flexible. But I say that's not true. I think it's something that you have to work on. Say, for instance, if I stop training, if I stop, practicing my flexibility or stretching, if I stop for a while, I'm going to lose it.
Yeah, it's the same thing in strength training.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you don't do it, you will lose it. The exercise squat that you're doing, if you don't do it, if you stop for 6 months, I'm training for 6 months, I'll kick your ass. You know that.
Yeah, you were a little bit upset with that. So before this, we did training and I exposed Alain to Zerchers for the first time. Yeah. And it was new. It was fun, right?
Yeah.
And
it was fun.
Now you want to work on it and come back and kick my ass.
You literally exposed me because I don't like, I'm very competitive. Right?
Yeah.
So I'm very competitive. And there I was like, dude, you see what I mean? Like, dude, I'm always training. How is it that he's gonna come up with something that I can't do? I won't do. But I'm also I also take things really. You have to be smart about it. So I'm not gonna go and get injured. I learned from that. I saw that. I learned from that, and just give me a little while, and I'll come back to you.
So, what specific things were you doing for flexibility? Did it start in karate? Like, where did you have your, what do you call it, your sensei or coach, or like in jiu-jitsu we call it a professor, or what would you call the?
No, we have our sensei. Yeah,
sensei. Would he push you into positions, or would you guys really work hard like gymnastics would, or how did that work?
You know what? As a kid, the basic flexibility move that we were doing, I mean, it was really basic. But I think me personally, I was always going the extra mile, always. So if we were doing a move and the teacher asked us to do something, I always do a little bit more. And then I also had the habit to go home and practice the same move. So I was showing a video on my Instagram where I'm working on my flexibility in anywhere I am. So if I'm in the living room or if I'm here, for instance, I'll put my legs across and I'll press my foot down so that I'm working on relieving my hip flexor, and I'm working. You can see it's, but I like to do that. I like to always be, practicing and working and using any position or any opportunity that I have to work on my flexibility.
Right.
So if I'm in the living room, I will do, instead of just falling myself in the sofa and just like being lazy, I'll take a position that will help me.
So this is why I'm so interested. You're a jack dude. You're a big dude. Okay. We're not going to, dance around it. You're a big, strong guy. You're very capable. But that flexibility is something that you don't see with people with your body type. And it was funny. We were messing around in the gym and I was like, first off, I said, what's your game plan? And you said, I always want a head kick.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, so how do you make me get into a position where you want a head kick? And I was thinking, okay, you got to be a big distance away from the person to head kick them. And you were like, no, I actually trick them with a body shot and I can bring my leg up so high that I can end up kicking them in the head. Yeah. So like you were literally a foot, 2 feet away from me. Yeah. And you were able to kick my head. Now that's a game. That's something that not many people can do. And that's why I think having that flexibility, it opens the doors to so many more aspects of your game. And a game that you said yourself is a strength.
Yeah.
Right.
So, you know what? Look at it this way. On an aesthetic point of view, doing a high kick is beautiful. But I always thought I'm not going to go the easy way. I could go for a low kick where I don't have to do too much to lift my leg, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But I want to make it a challenge. It has to be, I always have to do a little bit more, make it a challenge, work a bit more and challenge myself. So I thought a low kick would be easy, but a high kick will be more difficult, but also aesthetically beautiful, right? So I'll go for a high kick. I'll challenge myself every time I'm going for a fight. I think naturally now it just comes naturally. I'll go for that high kick. I don't even think about it. But before I go for the fight, I always say to myself, if I need to finish this fight. I need to do a high kick. I need to get him for a high kick. So I'll try. And I don't even think about it when I'm in there. It just goes.
It's so crazy, man. And that low kick too, I imagine sets up a high kick, or like I'm so curious about your game because
I had some beautiful knockout, right? In my career, even when I was much younger, my style was to get in there, rush into the fight, and just overpower my opponent, and just annihilate him. I was just like that. I was really explosive. I would just be explosive and just get out there and just overpower you. And I did that, and it works for me. I had like the fastest knockout when I was younger. When I was a teenager, I had the fastest knockout. When I was in my 20s, I had the fastest knockout. I had it, all the time. I have like 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 7 seconds, and
just run.
And lately, in one championship, I'm still holding the fastest knockout in the heavyweight division in MMA. I'm still holding the fastest knockout of 10 seconds.
Yeah, 11 seconds. I want to talk about that, but finish your thought because I have a question about that.
Yeah. So. What was I saying? So
you changed.
I like to challenge. Yeah, I like to challenge myself. I can go for low kick, but it's easy. So if I want to make it easy, I can go for low kick and just focus on that. But I want to have a good. I want to have a good fight. I want to perform well. I'm an artist and I'm a showman. I like to make the show. I like to be entertaining. So of course, of course you have to win. Of course you have to win the fight. But for me, it was never just about winning. For me, it was having fun. I want to have fun. And for me, having fun is expressing myself the way I want to express myself. I just don't want to go and just, win in such a boring way and just win because I want to win no, I don't care. Yeah, I could even lose. You know what? I'll tell you something. I lose a lot of fight, but those fights are still the most memorable. People will remember. So I'm not one who's going to win a fight and it's going to be forgotten tomorrow. I lose a fight and people only talk about my fight. They only talk about that fight because I come there and I put on the show. Okay, so and that's for me. That's how I want to perform. I want to put on a show. I want to please myself first.
I think if we think about this from you want to win, right? Everyone wants to win. Yeah. And you don't want to put yourself at a disadvantage, doing stupid shit that would put you in a bad position. But I think there is a competitive advantage for wanting to quote unquote put on a show. And what it is it allows you to adapt more. At least from my perspective, right? Like, depending on what comes at you, because a lot, the famous quote from Mike Tyson is everyone has a game plan until they get hit in the head, right? And I think it's like you can have your game plan and your game and you do it all the time, but what if something happens? But if your game is to just do something different, challenge yourself, you open the door to allowing yourself to adapt mid-fight. And I don't know if you knew so this is what I wanted to talk about was the 11-second knockout. I just watched it before you and I met up for training, and the guy runs at you full speed. Now, I don't know if you were expecting that, but in my opinion, that seems like it's hard to train for something like that. Some guy just running at you. And I watched you and it was like, okay, this is what's happening. I'm adapting, I'm changing. And you just you toroed him, like literally like a bull. Toroed him 3, 4, 5 times. And then finally you were able to get him where you wanted and hit him, right? Yeah. There's no way you knew that was coming, right? Did you know that was coming?
Okay. Before the fight, I kind of, they interview the fighter before and they say, so Alain, how are you going to perform against him? Because he's like a jiu-jitsu champion. He won his world champion jiu-jitsu. He won this, he won that. And obviously your jiu-jitsu, you are disadvantaged. You know that this is your problem, right? I'm like, yes, I know. I'm not a high-level jiu-jitsu. I'm not even a good jiu-jitsu fighter. Mm-hmm. And this is where they always get me. Right, so they try to just grab me and take me down and just suffocate me. And before I started focusing on jiu-jitsu, that was always my issue. So this guy is a jiu-jitsu world champion, right? So and his goal, he knows that I'm a good striker, and his goal was to rush on me, grab me, and that's it. If he grabbed me,
so you knew he was gonna come at you that fast?
I kind of knew that he was going to come at me, but I didn't know it was going to be that fast.
Yeah, right.
I barely even like, before the fight, you want to give high five or shake hands or whatever, and just acknowledge your opponent. When I came to high five or whatever, he was already.
He didn't take a step back.
He didn't take a step back. He just started rushing.
Yeah.
So I just like, I had to react because you need to adapt, right? So right there, you are rushed. So you just my flight mode just on, and I had to just find a way. So he just came, and I just had to adapt. So first, just moving, and I wasn't thinking about it. I was just naturally trying to evade him.
Yeah.
So I stepped back and I moved to the other side, just like a bull.
Yeah.
Like when you look at it, it's like
it literally Toro. Yeah, this way, that way, and that's something though that I don't know if you have a game plan. I don't know that you could have done that. It was just like you adapted and you changed, and it was just very interesting. I think it says more about you as a fighter than something else. I think people might be like, oh, those quick knockouts, we don't get to see what he can exactly. Who's the better fighter? Yeah. It's kind of just like boom, boom. The fight didn't get to settle. You didn't settle into this fight.
Yeah.
But I think though that in that instance, it's different because like that was a stimulus that came at you instantaneously. You had to adapt, and you made it happen. I love that fight.
If you watch some of my highlight knockout in MMA, you see they're all different. So this particular fight that we're talking about, where the Japanese guy rushed at me, is different to the second fight where I did the knockout with the spinning back kick. To Hassan, the guy I was fighting. And in that fight, also, I just adapted. So I gave him a low kick. I came forward. I was thinking, I'm going to hurt him. And when he's going to be hurt, he was not going to be able to think properly and to react properly, and I'll get him for a high kick or whatever. So that's what I was thinking first, hurt him on the low kick. I gave one low kick, he stood back. I came forward. I went to another low kick, but the guy was very smart. On the second low kick, he let me in and he caught me with a punch. So while I was going for the kick,
bang.
Bang. And he caught me. Perfect. When he caught me, when he caught me, I took a step back and I acknowledged his punch. When I took a step back, he came forward. I like that. I like when my opponent come forward. And in this case, he came forward, but very confidently. And that's exactly what I like. Because
that's the head kick?
Yeah, that's where the head kick went. And that head kick, that spinning back kick, is natural. I didn't think too much. He just came forward. And
that's years of karate, man. And that's the thing too. Like guys your size, like they don't have that. There's something about karate that, have you heard the term like McDojos and things like that? Yeah. And I think that karate gets lumped into that quite a bit. But, karate and then what else am I thinking of? Taekwondo.
Yeah.
But at the same level, in order to execute those kicks, even if you're just doing them like you're doing forms, you're not even your choreography. Like even to do that, you need flexibility, you need explosiveness, and you need proprioception awareness. You need awareness of where your body's going. Awareness,
but again, it's different in fighting. When you're in an actual fight in the ring or in the cage, it's totally different because you are on a survival mode. So it's not anymore the kata or whatever. The emotion and your life, like your life is in danger. I mean, you fear for your life. All the emotion, all the adrenaline are pumping to be able to have clarity of mind and perform a high level kick or a high level punch or a high level combination. In those moments where you are in such a situation where, all the adrenaline and all the fear and all the anxiety and everything is kicking in, usually most people, they themselves, they forget everything. Mm-hmm. Like they can't even listen to the corner anymore. Yeah. They can't even hear you anymore. They don't know what's going on. Mm-hmm. They are completely screwed up. Your organs, your body is completely messed up completely. So I think it takes a lot, and you have to give it to the fighter, respect to them, step in there, and having all this emotion, all together, and be able to perform with all this emotion. It's not easy.
That's what I love. You did lose to Rug. Was that who?
Rug, yeah.
Rug.
Yeah, the Senegalese.
And so on my channel, I've done a bit of a dive into fight sports around the world.
Yeah.
One of my most popular videos, I was looking at a lot of African fighting sports, combat sports. There's one where they wind up their hands. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
I forget what that's called. But then I looked at Senegalese wrestling, and he's the champion, right?
Yeah.
Like best ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he made it to one championship. Yeah. And you guys had it was an interesting match. He had you down and you almost got back up. And like for thinking about a Senegalese champion, like the best Senegalese wrestler of all time, trying to stand up while that guy has you is just got to be like crazy. And I don't want to talk too much about the loss, but I guess the main...
No, I acknowledge the loss. Actually...
The main thing I loved about that is you guys were immediately gentlemen with each other, sportsmanship. Like the love that you had for each other was amazing.
Even before the fight, even his team contacted me. I remember even when I was in the hotel, they called me and we had a chat and they wanted to meet with me. We met before the fight and we met after the fight, of course, before the fight, because they say, this was like the best thing that ever happened to him. And of course, meeting with me was also like something, grandiose for him. And I appreciate that. And being African, the two of us, was good to see each other. And he needed that opportunity. And for me, I'm always up for a good challenge. It doesn't matter. I think that he managed to catch me and to take me down. I still don't think that I was out. I think that the referee, looking at the fight, I thought I wasted too much time down there. I should have changed. So in the position that I had, I could have just go on my back and just grab him, pull him, and then get out of it. But I didn't. I kept, the same position. And he was like...
Ground and pound, yeah.
He was pounding while I was in that position. And I was trying to take my leg out. So I was just focusing on taking my leg out while he was punching me. But I didn't think that the punch that he was giving was threatening me. I felt the first 1, 2, 3, and I thought, no, it's okay. I'm just going to focus on taking my legs out. And while he was just doing that. And I should have known that if for the referee, if he sees that the guy just continually doing the same movement, and I'm just trying to remove my legs out of under him, after 10 seconds the referee just stopped the fight.
Yeah,
he thought that
he thought that you couldn't.
Here.
Yeah,
but when we got out, I was like, what? You stopped the fight?
Yeah.
But watching it, I know the referee, he's just care for the fighter. So
of course,
safety first. For me, I should have changed. I didn't, because I thought I wasn't getting hurt, and I thought it doesn't hurt him. It's not hurting me, so I'm just going to focus on remove my leg and just keep that position and move on that side. But yeah, that's not how it happened.
I think it just seemed like there was so much energy with him on top. Like it seemed like, I think it was perceived by maybe people watching and even the ref that he was really beating you, because he still had a lot of energy. You guys, it wasn't like the fight had settled down yet.
No, both has energy. It was just the first round.
Yeah, it's
When I got up, I was like, what?
But you have a good attitude about it, right? Your first thought is, I should have changed, which I think is the only way you can really look at it, right?
I should have changed. I didn't change, but I learned from that. So if I was in that situation again, now I'm comfortable. I could go on my back. I could have him on top of me and I could get out of it. So I'm, by learning and by working on it, you get better. So I can do that. So I could have done that. I didn't. I was stubborn. But it is what it is.
I'm fascinated by other cultures and their sports. And I feel like even though there's, a decent amount of African sportsmen and in martial arts, it's always going to be untapped. There is so much potential for African athletes. That's just a lot of potential. So much potential. Yeah. Football or soccer is obviously going to be like the biggest sport throughout the entire continent. But I think, Kamaru Usman being an African, but I just think it's untapped. There should be a better pipeline to get more Africans. Don't you think? Like,
no, I think so. I mean, think about it. someone like Francis Ngannou just arrived in the UFC. His parkour coming out, leaving Africa to arriving in Europe was right. He was just a clandestine, took the water, the sea, and a lot of people died doing that. So the guy, he managed to get there, and that's how they found out about Francis Ngannou. But imagine the amount of talent that are there, and that they don't have the opportunity. They just don't have that opportunity, and that's all. But
is one giving more opportunity, do you think? Are they, because I know Rug,
yeah.
Rug or Rug. Like, are they going to reach out to more Senegalese? Because they have there's thousands of men that are learning to fight, because that's a big sport in Senegal, at least.
Yeah, I think one championship is doing its part. I think you can see now they have a fighter from everywhere. They have a huge pool of fighter from everywhere. It's not easy because obviously there's thousands of fighters now. Slowly but surely, I mean, the Africans are being noticed there as well, and we're looking forward to having maybe one championship in Africa. Then I think that will make a
have it in Africa.
Yeah, to have one championship in Africa.
Wow.
So
I love one championship, man. If you guys are out there, you should definitely. I mean, it is. We were talking about it earlier. It is the nerd. If you want to look at some of the best fighting, and on one card they have Muay Thai, they have mixed. I've seen mixed fights. So Demetrius Johnson.
Yeah.
Who is he fighting?
Against Rotan.
Yeah, they did one round Muay Thai, one round MMA, and he ended up knocking him out or winning.
In the
MMA.
Because Demetrius Johnson is amazing.
He's amazing.
So when he could grab, he finished the fight.
Another
championship
go ahead.
Is awesome, right? One championship is my home. It's I love one championship, but I think that they have the best fighter in the world. I mean.
You know what I love about one championship that isn't said enough? Their social media is fantastic.
Yeah.
So right now, we can just play one championship fight. I can play every one of your knockouts on my channel legally.
Yeah.
If I want to show people who you are, I can show them footage of you in one championship. If you were in UFC,
you wouldn't be allowed.
Wouldn't be allowed to. It'd be taken down immediately. Be striking from my channel.
Yeah.
Also, their compilations on Instagram, the way that they promote is so fantastic. It's so new wave. Their marketing team is so great. I love it, and I want it to just keep going. I want it to just keep exploding and keep going. My friend. And a guy who I used to train I used to do weight training for, Cody Steele. I think he's going to get picked up by one championship. He's a great fit, and I can't wait to see it. I just love it so much.
One championship has a fantastic team. I think Yo Chatri, the owner, is a really cool guy. And he's friend with most of the fighter. He's friend with me. He's friend with most of the fighter. He reach out to fighters, directly, after the fight or before the fight or in whatever, opportunity that he has. He has that, approach and that relationship with the fighter that's totally different.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I could never go anywhere else, because I have that relationship with him, and we can always, talk about it. We can always, find a way. But anyway, for me, it's my home.
It seems much more organic. One.
Yeah.
It's like this is fighting. If you want to watch it.
Yeah.
And that's not always going to be the best for pop culture.
No, not always. But also, look at that. The fighter, the relationship between athlete in one championship, it's awesome. I mean, you don't see, and you don't see fighter go at each other, or you don't see fighter. I don't even think that you have the right to swear or to do any such thing. One championship is so cool. You have to abide by a certain rule, and and respect your opponent, and respect you. They don't even tell you to do that. You just arrive and you see that that's the vibe. So you just join the vibe.
But that's the Asian vibe. Yeah. It's the Asian vibe, man.
So you just join the vibe.
Yeah. It's very cool. You and I, again, we were training earlier. We were just messing around, and I I can't remember which highlight it was because I'm sure you do it all the time. I could pull up any fight where you do the leg kick, but I was like, you're like, here, I'll do it very lightly on you. And you didn't even bring your foot back. You just kept it here and you just pushed onto mine. And I almost passed out from how much that hurt. It's so interesting, the fight game, because I was considering like the moment you think you understand it, something else can be thrown at you. Yeah. The amount of combinations and permutations and differences in things that can occur, it's just mind-boggling to me.
Tell me about it. I mean, you get there and you have like, you think that you got the whole sorted out. You think that you got the whole preparation and you know what you're going for, and you get there and it doesn't go that way because there's something else that just came out of nowhere, and that's the game. And that's why I love this game, because you push yourself, you prepare yourself, and you think you're so ready, and you get there and you get challenged differently.
Yeah. Imagine like all this training, you're kicking ass, you're doing all this, everything's dialed, you step in, and the first thing that happens is you get a calf kick. And now your foot doesn't work like the way you think it will. And now what? Like that was the first thing, whap, right on the calf. Like I would just, I
remember fighting a Muay Thai World Championship, and in that fight, I won by just kicking the guy in the same place, leg kick.
Quad, was it up here?
It was quad first, 1, 2, 3, and he couldn't step forward anymore. He changed stance, and I knew that he's done.
Did you knock him out, or did it go the distance?
No, he was finished in the first round.
And then was this the guy that needed a wheelchair?
Yeah, that's the guy who needed a wheelchair.
So I had this.
It's horrible. This leg kick, I mean,
it's awful,
it's
man.
horrible. It's horrible.
Look, let me tell you.
Imagine getting kicked that way, the way you fell. Imagine getting kicked like that. Full power.
No.
Full on.
No, I'm telling you, man, it would probably take me, I would say I'd be on the ground for 5 minutes, then I would be standing up, and then another 5 minutes of me walking funny, and then probably take me 20 to 30 minutes to recover, and then the next day I would feel it. Now to get it, that's one kick. Getting that multiple times and trying to continue to fight.
And remember, with adrenaline, everything it get multiplied.
Yeah.
Right? With adrenaline, you won't be able to walk.
So you said he needed a wheelchair out, which, by the way, I'm sure, like, I believe that wholeheartedly. Like, that not only do I like believe it or whatever, it's like, it makes sense.
No, because even the person who kick get hurt. The person who kick get hurt as well.
Yeah.
So, and that's because of the adrenaline. So the same thing that I'll do to you in the gym, I'll do the same thing in the fight, and the result will be 10 times worse. Mm-hmm. And it's the same thing. Why is it worse? Because over there, the adrenaline, just multiply everything. You see what I mean?
Yeah. So, I had this idea for some sort of documentary, and I talked about it with my father, and he's really interested in it too. And what I would do is I would follow two fighters and as they go into their fight, and I would just tell them, I'd say, we're just going to follow you, but here's the key. I'm going to follow both fighters 2 days before and 2 days after the fight. Everywhere you go. Because I think it's important. People, when the fight is over and you lost, and even though the person can look like, there's damage, their face is damaged, their leg is damaged, whatever, the adrenaline's still up there. They can walk around, they can walk off, and, then everything calms down. And I can't even fathom the pain from that. Yeah. The guy who left in a wheelchair, the first thing I asked you is, what was it like 24 hours later? What was it like 48 hours later? And you said you don't even want to know.
No, worse. It can only get worse.
Like, a lot of times they go to the hospital, correct?
Yeah.
So I would love there to be a documentary where it follows the fighter up to 48 to 72 hours after the fight is over.
Yeah.
So people can really see the damage. Seeing someone get knocked out, you're like, whoa, that's the damage of a fight. It's like, no. There's recovery from that's not the damage. No, it's like when you do a hard workout, you see how tired someone is. And you're like, wow, that's the damage of the workout. No, man. They're going to be sore for 3-4 days. This is trauma. This is a car accident.
Yeah, behind it, yeah.
That's insane. Have you ever left a fight and felt like, 3, 4, 5 days later, like, oh my God, I can't move or anything really bad? Or has it never been that bad? Or like, what's the worst for you?
No, you get sore. We know that as a fighter, you know that I like kicking a lot. So I get swollen ankle, swollen feet, swollen shin all the time. I like to do something. When I sign up for a fight, the day after the fight, I sometimes have seminar that I accept, that I agree on. How can you agree for a seminar after a fight? You know that you won't be able to walk. You can't do nothing.
Yeah.
But this was also crazy because I want to see my recovery. I want to see, I just want to be, active and see my recovery and challenge myself.
Yeah.
So I say that I'm going to do the fight and the next day I'll be doing a seminar. And I do that. But sometimes I have, swollen ankle, swollen feet, swollen shin, but I still do it.
Let's talk about, because you're 47 years old.
Yeah.
You're no spring chicken, as they say.
No, I'm not. But in my head, I am.
Yeah. And I think the more and more I've been around this, I covered a guy on my channel who was 58. He had abs, visible abs. He could do hundreds of pull-ups. He ran a marathon in his some time. I think he ran an ultra marathon.
He's my hero.
Right. He's this Russian guy. I forget his name. But he was amazing.
Yeah.
And he eats right. He's like, for some people, they like working out and challenging themselves. It's to help them live their lives or whatever. But he's like, for me, this is my life. This is how I express myself always. And I'll always express myself this way. And I relate to that a lot.
I couldn't agree more because I also take this as a just lifestyle. Okay. I just want to, enjoy myself, being able to move and to do what I like to do and what pleases me. So doing this, traveling, enjoying a good lifestyle, being active, working on my mobility, feeling that I'm capable, what I'm capable with my body, and always being curious about to what extent where I can go with my body. This is my lifestyle. And I don't see, before when I was in my 20s, I thought that when I'm going to get my 30, I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop fighting and I'll stop doing anything extreme. When I got to 30, I thought, but why should I stop? I'm feeling good.
Yeah.
I actually won. So any challenge that I set, I achieved. So I say I wanted to be world champion. I did. I became world champion. I say a few times I wanted to be world champion. I became world champion. Then I thought, okay, so what is, what's next? So I'm going to stop now and stop it. And I stopped for like maybe a year or a year and a half. And I realized how bored and how, I thought, why am I stopping for? I'm feeling good. I'm fit. I'm healthy. So why do I stop? And I started again. That's when I went to One Championship called me and gave me a good contract, and I thought, why not? And I went. When I started One Championship, I was already 30, 38. And I did the best knockout ever. And I felt so good about myself. So, and again, few times I thought, okay, I'm getting, it's always the way people think about it. When people always tell me, oh, but you're 40, don't you think you should stop? It's when they say that I remember that I'm 40. Otherwise,
you wouldn't know.
Moving the way I move or, living my lifestyle, age really doesn't matter to me. Age really doesn't matter to me. I just do what I do, and I realize that I'm doing things now that I couldn't even do when I was younger. So what is it? Why should I stop? I'm doing, you wake me up at any time in the middle of the night, I'll do the split. I'll do, the same thing. I'll do my 100 push-up. I'll do the same thing that I was doing and even more, that I'll do that now. And training, I still train, in my gym, I still the fittest, the fastest, the strongest, So you challenge me, you show me the Zercher thing, I'll come back to you in a couple of months and I kick your ass. So I'm telling you, I'm on it. I'm just living the best life, my best life.
Yeah. And I think it's important though that you talk about lifestyle, but that means you have rules, right?
I have rules, but
you don't drink.
But that's a choice. Right?
Okay, so it's a choice, but it ends up being
a good choice.
It's weird. Like, I don't make the choice to not drink, I just don't want to because I don't want it to affect what I want to do, which is use my body. Like that. I realized this. I used to party all the time. I love partying. Like I love it. It's fun. It is fun. Like you can't deny that. Like drinking and going out with friends is fun. It's like, it's a blast. But when I got into Olympic style weightlifting, I wanted to train as much as I could. And I wanted to train on Saturdays. I for sure was going to train on Saturdays. So that meant Friday, I'm not going out because I have to train tomorrow. And then I finish Saturday's training and I say, okay, so I'm going to spend Sunday hungover and feeling horrible. My one day off, I'm going to feel bad. So then how's Monday training going to be? It's going to be bad. So I just was like, well, I just don't want to drink. So I just did that. And I did that I used to go out every weekend with my friends. And then I got into weightlifting. And then all of a sudden it went 3, 4, 5 months without drinking at all. I did not make that choice. I didn't say I'm done drinking. It just was like, it just happens. And so I think you're continually making these choices about your life, but they're not really, they're just like, they're rules. That's how you live. And I think not many people understand that. And the sad thing is they don't create that avenue for them to make that rule, right? They have to always say, okay, I don't want to drink. But what if they were doing something where it was like, it wasn't even a consideration to drink, You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's different. I don't think, and this is just me, how I perceive you, because I've been around so many people. This is like my world as well. I think with you, it's just intuitive. It's how you live your life. It's all lifestyle, right? It's not like you're like, okay, this time I'm going to change this thing. I'm going to change this thing. You know exactly what you want every day and you just do it.
I think I started as a teenager, right? As a teenager, you want to experience.
You move the mic a little bit.
You want to experience a lot of things. You want to go out with your friend. You want to drink. You want to, smoke. You want to check out things. You want to experience. And I think like really early, I realized that I didn't want to do that. I realized that I wanted to be, healthy. I wanted to be strong. I wanted to be fit. I wanted to be happy. I wanted to be healthy. And this thing, like doing what I was doing, was making me happy and healthy. And I think my mom, she loved that. She loved that, that I was doing that instead of, what I could do, like my friend was doing at the time, being drunk and coming back home drunk or making the wrong choices and getting in trouble and whatever. But I always thought about, the sport that I was doing. I wanted to be better at what I was doing. And I thought that anything that will jeopardize or that will stop me or that will, affect me negatively, in what I'm doing is not welcome. So I will not go there. So if my friend want to hang out smoking, I think we will stop being friends. Because I have my priority. And I realized that, but when I was teenager, that's the way it was rolling, right? But one day, I remember I was qualified for the World Championship, and I was the youngest in the team. And to celebrate, I was only 16 or 17 years old. To celebrate, my mom took me out. And we were friends, and we were drinking, and they were drinking, and we all drinking. And I said to my mom, "You're so happy with me. Will you let me, order alcohol? And she said, yeah, go ahead. And I said, okay, I'm going to order a beer. And she said, go ahead. And so I ordered a beer. And the beer came and she poured a drink for me and then I took it and we toast. And when I started drinking, it was bitter, right? So the taste was bitter. And I just thought, it's bitter. She said, yeah. And I was like, but why are you guys drinking it if it's bitter? This is what I was thinking. I was told, why are you guys drinking if it's bitter? It's not even good. It's bitter. So why are you drinking? She said, well, I guess some people like it this way. And I thought, I don't think I like it. She said, it's your choice. I'm like, okay. I think I don't like it. She said, you want to change? I said, yeah. What do you want? I said, maybe a juice. And I got a juice. And since then, it never stopped.
What year? How old?
I was 16, 17 years old.
You're 47 now. So we're talking 21 years, 22 years
of doing that. Yeah, I never...
Think a lot of people have not done anything for 22 years. You have been fighting since you were 5. Yeah. So you've been fighting for 42 years. Yeah. You've been actively not drinking for 22 years. People want to know how these things are possible, but they cannot grasp the scope of 22 years of work. No, like it's one thing to be like, hey, so squatting, if you get into the gym and you squat, let's say 200 pounds, I think in a year, if you're capable and you squat diligently for 1 year, you could get to 400 pounds.
Of course.
And that's a big squat for the vast majority of people. That's a big squat. People think that is work. They think, okay, well, that's what's possible, right? With 1 year. What's possible with 22 years?
Exactly. But
like that is, our fickle human brains cannot perceive 22 years of time or 42 years of time, and my professor, he's black belt jiu-jitsu, 5th degree. He has been doing jiu-jitsu for 27 years. Like I've been wiping my ass for 27 years. That's how much, you know what I mean? Like I can't think of another thing that I've done for 27 years straight. Like that's how, and he's 42 years old and he can do backflips, the splits. He's doing everything you do. So my perception of what is possible, especially with this Russian guy as well that I was talking about, has completely changed. All it is people who have dialed in their lifestyle to actively wanting what they want for not just 2 years, 1 year, decades of work.
It's like the human body is capable of so much, right? What we can do is limitless. So you have to be able to explore and you have to accept and you have to make some choices. You have to have discipline in what you do. You have to make some choices. And you can say rules. If you want to say, I say choice, you say rule. Mm-hmm. Same thing. You make some choice.
Maybe
make some rules.
Maybe not rules, but like instincts. It's embedded in you. It's not, you're not actively saying, I don't want to drink. It's like, it's part of you. It's who you are.
Exactly. I could go with my friend and go with my girlfriend and I decided to have to try a drink or to have fun or have a little glass. And I could do that. I could have a little glass, test a little bit and then that's it. The fun is over because I don't really enjoy it. But at least, I try with you, but that's it, right? I'm not saying that people should stop living their life. I'm not saying that people should stop having fun, and because people will say then forget it, because I'm not having fun anymore. I say you can have fun, you can do whatever you want to do, but you should just have some you should just know when to stop, have some limitation, and just make sure not to do too much because then you're gonna hurt yourself, right? I don't want to drink and wake up in the morning being hungover and feeling like I always think people who do that, I always think, how can you enjoy it if you wake up in the morning and you feel horrible and you feel hungover and you don't feel good about yourself and it's just you see what I mean? So I'm like, why don't you just go and have party, have fun, but stop earlier. Stop when you're still feeling good, right? So that you can wake up in the morning feeling good about yourself, go for a little run or go for a little training and feel good overall, right? So instead of going crazy and be on the floor and being dragged at home and wake up in the morning not knowing what happened yesterday night, and you see what I mean? So that's what I'm saying.
This is something I just thought about just now. You know, everyone says hard work and dedication. And I think it's becoming minimized a little bit, because if someone says, how is that possible at 47? How is this possible? How is this possible? And then you say hard work and dedication. And I think that it muddies the waters a little bit too much to say hard work and dedication. It's hard work and dedication, of course, but that's implied. It's time. Time is so important. Like, you have been doing this for a lot of people who might be watching this for their entire lives worth of time. We're talking 42 years. Like, that's what allows people to do things that people cannot perceive. Because again, our brains cannot perceive that much time. You know, we can't. Think about where you were 10 years ago, like the person you were. It's much different than the person you are today. I mean, you were doing the same thing, but you would never have been able to predict where you are now, you know? And I think that a lot of people, when they judge someone, what they're capable of doing, they do not perceive that amount of time and that amount of work that they put in.
They do not grasp that. They can't. When someone comes to me and he say, dude, I want to be as jacked as you. How can I do that? And I say, okay, let's say train for 5 years. No, dude, when can I be, like, how long do you think it's going to take me to be as jacked as you? And I'm like, 5 years? That's too much. 3 years? That's too much. People, they don't have patience, right? Mm-hmm. They want it now. They want it today. They don't want it tomorrow because it's too far. They want it now. So when you say 40 years of doing the same thing, they can't grasp that because
no way.
Then forget it. Then I don't want to do it. Then they're gonna say, then forget it. I don't want to be like you because I don't want 40. But that's not what I'm saying. I say forget the 40 years, forget the 30 years, forget the 20 years, forget the 10 years, forget the 5 years. Just start now and do your little bit, but do it often. That's all. I don't want to say that because it scared people. People, they don't grasp the time. They can't. 40 years scare them. They can't. They want it now. So I say, okay, forget it. Not 5 years, not 3 years, not 2 years. Just do your bit. Let's just see where we're going to get from here to the next 2 months. Let's go for 2 months. I think 2 months is good. They can grasp 2 months. They can see 2 months. Okay, let's go for 2 months. Yeah, 2 months is good.
Alain, what's going on for your future? What do you got going on?
Dude, I'm very happy to be where I am. I'm very happy to be doing what I'm doing. I think I'm very blessed and I'm grateful to earn my life, doing what I love and being healthy. I think my health is paramount, and I think that being this healthy for me is like winning the best trophy, the best world championship that I never even had. This is it. Forget all the world championship, the trophy, the belt that I have. Being healthy and being this way and happy and traveling and meeting people, it's paramount to me and it's the most important. So from here, I'm going to keep doing what I do. I'm going to keep fighting. I'm going to keep competing. I'm going to keep showing up and coming up with different things, learning about my body, performing and showing people incredible things that my body can do, because I want to explore this body. I want to keep checking out and keep exploring and keep coming up with things that because like I say, I think the human body is capable of so much, and we are the one who are putting limit to what we are capable of. So I'm going to keep doing that. I'm very happy to be working with people that share my passion, like Gym Aesthetic, for instance.
Yeah, they paid for your trip out here.
They paid for my trip, but also not just that, they've been supporting me in all the sense. So I see myself as an artist, and you know, and I want to.
Well, you are martial artist, literally.
I want to be able to have the means to create what I want to create, the time and so on. And I want to be able to you know, to make sure to keep myself in check, right? And gym aesthetic give me all the tools that I need. So I have, you know, the comfort, I have the protection. You saw me earlier wearing my protection. You know, taking care of my body is really important. So making sure that my joints are in check, because, you know, you don't want to get injured. My ankle, my knee, my elbow, and so on are in check, because, you know, I know how to take care of myself. I make sure to, you know, if I see that, you know, last time I was skiing and I kind of fell down in the wrong way and I hurt my knee a little bit, so I had to wear my protection. And when I'm training, you know, what I'll be, and because I'm training most of the time, right? So I'm training, you know, for half of the day. So every day that I wake up, you know, I'd have like maybe 5 hours of training a day. So that's already half your day. So I spend a lot of time sweating, training. What I wear is important to me. So I think anybody need to make sure to find what works for them. So, you know, you have to be comfortable with the clothes that you wear. You have to have the support that you need. You know, if you do a lot of kick, perhaps you want a shin gear that you need to help you kicking or to keep you you know, like healthy. For me, my knees are important. I always do deep squat. I do a lot of things that involve you know, moving on the knee. And when I'm fighting rotation and so on, you know, you can easily get injured. So, you know, I just want to make sure to have all the tools that I need to keep me in this for the long run, because I'm in it for the long run. So I thank you. I thank Gym Aesthetic for that. And don't forget.
Yeah, if it wasn't for Gym Aesthetic, you wouldn't be out here. So also, I'm thankful for it as well.
We did the good challenge earlier.
Yes.
And
the fireman squat. Yeah. So if you guys check out our Instagrams, fireman squat challenge, get a partner and you'll win some.
Gym Aesthetic, and you want some cool stuff like what I'm wearing right now.
Yeah. All right, guys, that's it. Thank you so much, Alain.
Thank you, man. Pleasure to be here.